I came home early to surprise my wife and found clothes scattered up our staircase. I took out my gun, sat down, and waited. They say life changes in a heartbeat, but that's a lie. Life doesn't change in a heartbeat, it shatters in the instant. It takes to turn a doorknob, and if I'm honest, maybe I should have seen it coming. Maybe I ignored every red flag waving in my face because it was easier than facing the truth. That Friday began like a fantasy. I closed the Henderson case early, my client walked free. A verdict that would have impressed even Perry Mason. I was riding high. The weekend stretched before me like a movie scene. 2 first-class tickets to Santorini in my briefcase, a luxurious honeymoon suite booked, and a diamond necklace that sparkled like trapped starlight tucked carefully into my jacket pocket. I'd spent months planning this surprise for our 5th anniversary, eager to see that stunned, happy expression on Talia's face. Leaving my office early felt rebellious. Even Mrs. Chen, my secretary, raised an eyebrow, concerned. "Everything all right, Mr. Briggs?" she'd asked gently. I'd flashed her a confident smile, just surprising my wife. Funny how the word wife once felt sweet on my tongue. The drive home was smooth, the streets of Chicago unusually cooperative for a Friday afternoon. I even stopped for an expensive bottle of French champagne, the kind Talia loved, the kind that made me feel I was living the life I'd always dreamed of providing her. As I pulled into our driveway, our brownstone looked postcard perfect, flowers in the window boxes, the lawn manicured, everything exactly as it should be. But when I turned the front door handle, my perfect world crumbled instantly. The door was unlocked. That alone should have set alarm bells ringing. Talia always locked the door, obsessively so after a break-in scare, yet blinded by romance. I stepped inside like a fool. Then I saw the shoes, men's dress shoes, polished Italian leather. Not mine, not Jerome's either. He wore sneakers even in the courtroom. My pulse quickened. Next, the shirt on the banister. Then Talia's black lace bra, a Valentine's gift I'd chosen myself, discarded carelessly on the stairs. By the time I saw her jeans, my stomach twisted, realization hitting me with a sickening clarity. This wasn't innocent. This was a trail, a deliberate, unmistakable trail of betrayal leading directly to our bedroom. The lawyer in me urged caution. Think, slow down. Don't react emotionally. I walked to the den, pulled my grandfather's recliner to the foot of the stairs, its leather protesting loudly, and retrieved my .45 from the safe. It felt heavier now, cold and decisive in my hand. Upstairs I heard muffled laughter, intimate whispers, and the sound of my marriage dissolving into nothing. Strangely, I wasn't angry, just ice-cold. Calm, that deadly, detached calm that falls before a hurricane. On our coffee table, I spotted a wallet and an expensive phone. Notifications flashed relentlessly. Messages from someone listed simply as home. The man's wife? Another family unknowingly shattered by this careless affair? I answered the next call on impulse. "Reed, where are you?" demanded a sharp, irritated female voice. "This isn't Red," I said calmly. "My name is Malcolm Briggs. I'm holding your husband's phone while he's upstairs with my wife." The silence was deafening before she finally whispered, bitterly amused. "I've waited 3 years for this call. Tell Reed not to bother coming home. I'll have divorce papers waiting." She hung up, leaving only silence. But that brief conversation granted me clarity and permission. Eventually, footsteps descended. Talia appeared first, flushed, wrapped loosely in the silk robe I'd given her. Her smile died instantly upon seeing me, seated comfortably, gun in hand. Behind her was Reed, handsome, arrogant, now terrified. "Malcolm," Talia gasped, fear etched in every line of her face. "Malcolm, wait," Reed began, panic rising. I didn't wait. I fired once, deliberately, the bullet shattering the banister inches from Reed's head. Splinters flew, screams filled the air. Reed hit the stairs, trembling and wide-eyed. "That was your warning shot," I said evenly. The police arrived later. My narrative was simple. An intruder in my home. Self-defense. They took statements. Skeptical but unable to disprove my careful, lawyerly story. Reed left in an ambulance, wounded but alive. Talia fled without a word, taking nothing but what she'd entered our marriage with, as per our ironclad prenup. The days following were a blur. Processed into county jail, fingerprinted, interrogated. Detective Morrison tried every tactic, but I held firm. I felt threatened, I repeated. I defended myself. When Jerome bailed me out, he brought news. Dana, Reed's soon-to-be ex-wife, had visited our firm, armed with files documenting Reed's history of harassment at Cormark Industries. 3 prior settlements hidden by the company. She'd had enough ready to destroy Reed professionally and personally. I was ready to, armed with damning evidence. Jerome and I marched into Cormark headquarters. CEO Patrick Sloan greeted us. Warily, without wasting breath, I presented Reed's trail of misconduct, harassment, settlements, corporate negligence. I made our demands clear. 7-figure compensation, public apologies, immediate termination of Reed with no benefits, and cooperation with any criminal investigations. Sloan complied quickly, choosing survival over loyalty. Reed lost everything: family, reputation, he fled Chicago, reduced to selling used cars in Missouri. Dana, newly empowered, joined our firm, becoming an unstoppable advocate for victims like herself. As for me, I rebuilt. Revenge had transformed into something richer: self-respect, purpose, freedom. 3 years later, from a balcony in Santorina, the very place I'd intended to surprise Talia, I raised a toast to my new life, unburdened by bitterness. Then Jerome called, his voice hesitant. Talia stopped by the office. She's terminally ill, wants to apologize. I felt nothing, not triumph, not grief, just peaceful indifference. Tell her no, I replied softly. Her choices were made long ago. Closure, I realized, isn't always loud or dramatic. Sometimes it's quiet acceptance that the past, no matter how painful, simply doesn't matter anymore. That night, beneath a clear Greek sky, I toasted again, not to revenge, but to finally being free. 4/4 Ask ChatGPT.